win. Tigers win. LSU takes game one, 5-2 against them. Tennessee Volunteers. What up? Let's go, let's go, let's go. By popular demand, you all were requesting a live, so let's do it. Let's do a little post-game recap here. Thank you for being here. Smash that like button. Appreciate you very, very much. If you're new, subscribe up to the channel. So LSU, I'll give you some, I'm sure this audience is going to build here as we get rolling. So I'll try to slow play just a bit so I don't have to repeat myself too much. But all right, y'all. Tigers win 5-2. Paul Skenes was awesome again. 7 innings pitched for Skenes in this one again. Just the 1 run allowed again. 12 strikeouts again. Dude is a freaking monster. It just don't make sense what he's doing. I think I might have mentioned this on Morning Scone for those that were here. Had a buddy who's a scout tell me that there's no way Skenes, this was a couple weeks ago, he said there's no way Skenes gets past the Nationals at 2. As a matter of fact, Nationals are hoping the Pirates take Dylan Cruz because they want Skenes, because they feel he is a front of the rotation guy today. And cheers, y'all. And they could get him for 6 years on a rookie deal, essentially. A front of the rotation guy for 6 years before they'd have to pay him, or they could trade him for assets or whatever the case may be. But all right, LSU 5-2. Paul Skenes was awesome. Where am I? Skenes 7 innings, 1 run on 5 hits. Walked 1, struck out 12 through 107 pitches. I tweeted his 87th pitch was 100 miles an hour. It was bonkers. For LSU, going from Skenes to Ackenhausen, a little surprising, but you see what Jay was doing. He was trying to give him a different look, from showing him 100 from the right side to a lefty throwing considerably less hard. But Ackenhausen clearly wasn't right. He wasn't available last weekend because of injury, and it was pretty clear he wasn't right. So he only got the 1 out. Just faced 2 batters. Got the 1 out, walked a guy, and then was down 3-2, and they pulled him. Of course, after the hit he allowed, back-to-back pass balls. Well, one was a wild pitch, one was a pass ball. And Ahuna got the 3rd. They brought in Edwards, promptly roped one to the middle to center, and so you got a tie ball game. But good for Edwards. He buckled down, even allowed a couple guys on in the 9th, but settled in and got through it. So, for LSU, here's the great thing. You won the game despite not having to really, waste any bullets on the mound this weekend. Edwards only threw 24 pitches. He may not throw tomorrow, but he would most definitely be available for game 3 if you need him. He probably could, he could throw for you tomorrow. He couldn't extend, but he could throw for you tomorrow if you needed him. But you'll definitely have Edwards available on Sunday. Not even sure if Ackenhausen's healthy enough to pitch, but, you look at your bullpen. You've got Chase Shores, you've got Riley Cooper, you got Little, Dutton. You got anybody else available? That's Griffin Herring, who was warming tonight. So, you've got you got a full pen available the rest of the weekend, and the big gamble Tony Vitello took today did not pay off, and that was burning Halverson. Halverson is their best arm out of the bullpen. Dolander only going 4 2/3. I was a little surprised. They pulled Dolander in the 5th with 2 outs to pitch to Tommy White. It was a 2-1 game, and I get it. It was a 2-1 game. You had 2 men on base, White at the plate, and you're thinking, man, 1 swing could break this thing open. So I get it. I get what Vitello was thinking. He's sitting there going, can't let Dolander miss over the plate and let White hit one to the moon, and then all of a sudden the game's over with the way Skenes was pitching. So he went to Halverson, which was a risk, but if Dolander had gotten White, who had not really I think White popped out. He flew out in the 1st. He popped out, and he was hit by a pitch on the hand. So maybe you see him a 4th time. Maybe he breaks through against Dolander, but with White in that situation, man, he decided not to take the risk. Brought in Halverson, he got White to ground out. But if Dolander had gotten past White, then he's pitching in the middle of the lineup, who he had dominated. So he would have faced 5, 6, 7, which would have been Beloso. Would have been Beloso Jones, Pearson. So, who Beloso was 0 for 4, Jones was 1 for 3, and Pearson was 0 for 3. So, my point being, I'm sorry, but point being, if they stick with Dolander, he gets White, you very likely get through the 6th with Dolander as well. Even though his pitch count was, I believe, at 89. I'm not looking at it right now. Dolander threw 89 pitches. So anyway, point being, Tony Vitello took a big risk. He didn't want the game to get away. He went to Halverson. Halverson got White, and then he rolled with Halverson the rest of the way. And Halverson threw 52 pitches, and he's likely done for this weekend. I can't imagine. They're certainly not bringing Halverson back tomorrow, and I can't imagine them bringing him back in Game 3. I can't imagine a scenario where they would bring him back in Game 3. So you burned, obviously Dolander, but you burned Halverson as well, who's your best bullet out of the bullpen. And so you go into the rest of the weekend, if you're Tennessee, look, you got arms in the bullpen, no doubt about it, but you really need to have your starting pitching carry the day, and you need your offense to show up. If you're Tennessee, if you're LSU, you feel decidedly better about your offense these next 2 days, being able to break through, and you've got a full bullpen. So we'll see what Floyd does tomorrow, and then we'll see what what Hurd does on Saturday in Game 3. All right, y'all fire away again. If you're just jumping aboard, please smash that like button. 177 watching live. I love y'all. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe up to the channel. A couple of other observations. Jordan Thompson, so clutch. Jay Johnson said last year, in a clutch situation, there's nobody he'd rather have at the plate. Surprised a lot of people because you thought he'd say Dylan Cruz, but Thompson continues to reward that faith. Tigers had so many opportunities, man. Had the leadoff batter on 3 of the first 4 innings, couldn't push a run across. So disappointing to see them have Dolander not sharp and to get runners on against him and to consistently let him off. The Tigers could have put this game away early. I mean, first pitch of the game, Dugas blasts a double. Dugas blasts a double. And man, if you look at that first inning against Dolander, even though they had a couple of guys on base, and they didn't get anything for it, everybody hit the ball hard. Dugas doubled to center. Morgan fouled one down the left field line that he crushed. Cruz hit one to right that he crushed. White hit one to center that he crushed. I mean, Dolander wasn't missing any bats. He didn't get his first strikeout until the 4th inning. So you had opportunities to break through early. You didn't do it. You still found a way to win the game, and that's critical. So Tigers win Game 1. Zachary Junda, what's going on? Skenes having the best season by an LSU pitcher since Aaron Nola. I mean, Aaron Nola was National Pitcher of the Year. Aaron Nola had the best LSU career of any pitcher in LSU history. But Skenes is pacing to break Ben McDonald's strikeout record, and he needs to get run support. I mean, this is back-to-back weeks. He's giving you 7 innings of 1-run baseball where he struck out 12, and he's got a no decision. I mean, he's got to get some run support. Hunter Picard, Trivia Carter, Joseph Fallsgraf, Randall Offrecht, biggest win of the Jay Johnson era. You could make that case for sure. I mean, beating Southern Miss in the regional last year. Ultimately, they came back and beat you twice, but beating them the first time was huge. Bobby Cottle, Chihuahua One Strong Side, what's up? Companion show is back. It's not a companion show, but it's a post-game recap. Let's see. I'm going to scroll through, see if I can get some questions. Caleb, what's going on? Joel Cunningham. The yips are coming back for Jordan Thompson in the field. I don't believe that at all. The ball to his left was a very difficult play. I don't even know they would have made the play had he gotten there. Like that's one of those ones where, and look, they ruled that a hit. That's one of those where, and so that's honestly, Joel, that's a, I don't want to crush you, man, but that's a stupid comment. Like, most defenders don't even get to that ball in front of second base. That's how much range Thompson has. That's why they gave him a hit. And then the throwing error, he rushed the throw. So this team still leads the country in fielding percentage. Come on. Gulf South, what's going on? Just watched T-Bob's video, straight fire. T-Bob's video poked at every Tennessee insecurity possible. It was brilliant. It was perfectly done. I texted him, I was like, so you memorized? He goes, yeah, I memorized. He said it was the third take. He said he got right to the end on the second take and then flubbed it up, but he did it on the third take. Glenn Garner, Lonnie Copeland, Eric Wilderrider, interesting dynamic I didn't think of. We're so talented, teams will completely sell out and try to win one. I don't even know that it's that necessarily, Eric. I think we're just maybe more aware of it, but I think it's like you can't sweep if you don't win the first one. And every game is a new day, and if you're Tennessee, you feel really good about your next two starting pitchers. So I don't necessarily think it's that, Eric. I don't necessarily think it's selling out just to win one. I think Tony Vitello was thinking, I got a chance to win the game Paul Skenes starts. Let me go try to win this game. And he was aggressive, and it just, I can certainly understand the logic. This thing with baseball, man. Baseball, like, people blame coaches, managers all the time. A coach can't throw a pitch. A coach can't stand in the box. He can't catch a ball. Like, ultimately, your players have to go execute against another team's pitcher, or whatever the case may be. You know, a coach is going to make one or two decisions a game that are strategically going to affect the outcome. The example, obviously, is what we're just talking about with the decision to go to Halverson in the fifth, and then to ride him the rest of the way. Vitello made that decision. It bit him. Like, I can live with the decision if it's made with sound logic, just understanding that sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. Brett DeGrow, what's going on? Bo Revere. Yeah, he said that wasn't the yips. It was him thinking he had to air it out to get the runner. That's true. He rushed the throw. Lonnie Copeland, what's going on? 1-2 draft picks. I think so. I mean, I think you'll see Cruz and Skenes go 1-2. The interesting thing is if Skenes keeps going at this rate, does he leapfrog Cruz and go 1 overall, which he very well could. Eric Tross said, what are you sipping on? Parker's Heritage, the double barrel blend. It's 132.2 proof. This was my best score of the year. One of my favorite bottles I've ever owned. An absolutely stunning achievement. This Parker's Heritage Double Barrel Blend. If you ever get a chance to get your hands on this bottle, it is magnificent. 132 proof, but so complex and isn't going to blow you away with heat. It's just an awesome, awesome whiskey if you ever get a shot. Brant Webb, go Tigers with Skenes. We get more run support. It's going to be hard on Friday nights, man. You know what it reminds me of? Kind of reminds me of Aaron Nola with the Phillies. Not today, but typically. It's like you'll see Nola go 6 2/3, 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 8, walked none, and loses 2-1. Skenes and Edwards to shut the door. What are you drinking tonight? Ross Meir, what's going on? Did the Dugas bomb ever come down? What a clutch swing for Gavin Dugas, especially in the moment, y'all. I mean, LSU goes down 1 in the 5th, and you come right back in the bottom of that inning and take the lead right back. I mean, that has to be soul-crushing for Tennessee to take the lead and then immediately give it up. Huge swing by Gavin Dugas. What a season he's having. Batting .347 on the year. A guy who was in a position battle right up into the start of the season, and ultimately, I'll tell y'all, the thought was that Gavin Guidry was going to win that job, and Dugas just threw them all out the boat. Was like, good for him, dude. Michael Terry, what's going on? F you, Michael Terry. Stone Musso, what's up? Noah Lejeune. Shelby, the lineup is so different with a healthy Gavin Dugas. I love him in the leadoff spot too, Shelby. That was your leadoff hitter who hit the 2-run bomb. I love the fact that you have a leadoff hitter that I love the fact that you have a leadoff hitter that can change the scoreboard with one swing. Who can hit for power and for average. 2 for 3 tonight. Had a double and double to lead off the game. Had the 2-run homer. Absolutely agree. Love it. And when you have that kind of table setter with Morgan, Cruz, White coming behind him, I agree. Daylight, what's going on? No way the overturned steal would ever go for LSU. Daylight, I'm not gonna sit here and cry about the it'll never happen for LSU blah. Like, you were at the box. If you're ever gonna get a home call, and nobody likes Tennessee, so let's not act like they get calls. But I do agree with you that talking about the stolen base where it was originally called out and they overturned it. If we're adhering to the irrefutable video evidence, I didn't see irrefutable video evidence. So I would have let the call stand. If they called him safe on the field, I've been good with it. They called him out real time. I thought the call should have stood. Ross Meir, what's going on? Shortstop is the weak link defensively. That's so stupid. That is so stupid. I swear to Christ. I don't know where, I kind of feel like some of you have never watched a baseball game in your life. Like, Jordan Thompson has been stellar. He came into this game with one error on the season. I don't believe you actually watch baseball. I think you're just jumping in here to shit talk at 10:25 at night after LSU just scored a massive win over Tennessee in front of a record crowd at the box. Shout out to everybody who went, by the way, except the idiot students who threw beer on the field. Morons. Lonnie, I think this might be LSU's greatest team all time. Time will have to prove that out, Lonnie. The thing is, man, I talked about this earlier on AFR today. The 06 LSU football team was a better team than the 07 team. They're more talented team than 07. But nobody's going to remember that about 06. History won't remember them because they didn't win the national championship. Both teams lost 2 games. But 07, breaks went their way and they won a natty. 2013 and 2015 were amazing teams. And they just didn't get it done in Omaha. So people love the 1996 team, and that had some great leaders and some veteran guys, but that was not a talented team as far as, projectability. This team's got a lot of pros on it for sure. And they may end up at time prove to be the most talented team LSU's ever had, but you got to go win in Omaha, man. That's just what this program is defined by. Let's see. Wendell Norman, what's up? Shelby, how about their second baseman running all over the field? Boy, that was bizarre. And ultimately kicked the ball in the 8th inning. Really, really bizarre. To see Christian Moore as a second baseman. He ranged to the left and took a ball in front of the shortstop. He ranged backwards and took a ball in front of the right fielder who was coming in. It was his play. And then ultimately whiffed on the tag to Beloso and couldn't make the throw in time to first base with Kling. So, boy, rough night in the field for Christian Moore for sure. Smash that like button if you would. 218 watching live. Look at y'all, man. LSU baseball, man. Nothing quite like it, huh? I do have HUDCO pinned in the chat, by the way, so would love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. If you find yourself in need of a roof inspection, repair, replacement, we'd love to help you out. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Let's see. Mike McNett with the Frogs. I love it. Merritt Mathern, I miss Coogan's Frogs. Irfan Sayad, what's going on? Scroll through here, see if I can find some other questions. Comments. Joey Metke, Matt, got to listen to the game on YouTube. Sounded awesome at the box. Brian Penton, what's up? Noah Lejeune, what are the odds we sweep them? They're a good team, man. You can't sweep them if you don't get the first one, obviously. But the starting pitching advantage does shift to Tennessee the next 2 days. LSU's offense is better than Tennessee's, 1 through 9. And I think LSU certainly, I feel good about the bullpen the rest of the way, or at least the amount of options you have in the bullpen after game 1, because Skenes just chewed up 7 innings for you. But I honestly, no, I'm not thinking so much about sweeping them. I'm more thinking, hey, go get one tomorrow, win the series, and then take a free swing on Sunday or Saturday, see if you can sweep it. Z-Man, what's up? Keep doing these, Matt, after big games. Love it. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. We'll do it when I can. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's see. Blake Canfield, love this recap. Thank you, brother. Justin Clary, how about the Magic 2 out in the 8th? JT came in clutch. Yeah, man. Jay Johnson said it last year. It turned a lot of heads. We said there's nobody he'd rather have up in a big moment than Jordan Thompson, because a lot of people would have assumed that'd be Dylan Cruz. But time and time again, he continues to prove that. Remember in Houston last year, the game against Oklahoma, when Thompson hit the big homer. He is certainly unfazed by those moments, which is awesome to see. Tyler Cooley felt like a super regional atmosphere. It's only March. It was awesome. Merritt Mathern, where's Blake Money? Blake Money pitched in the midweek this week. He's mostly been relegated to that role. Blake's problem is he can't keep the ball in the yard, man. Big dude, big arm. Got to find some consistency. Where can I find the T-Bob video? Twitter, Instagram. Just go search. Just search for T-Bob. I think it's at T-Bob53. His Instagram is maybe tbob.abear or something like that. You can find it. Run support's needed. Seems like it'll be a premium against teams' aces on Friday nights when skiing is going. It depends who the other team's ace is. Last week you were facing a lefty throwing 95, and this week you were facing the reigning SEC pitcher of the year. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. But I'll tell you this: you want a positive? There wasn't nearly as much swing and miss. There weren't nearly as many strikeouts tonight. I think LSU struck out a total of 5 times tonight. LSU struck out 4 times, 4 times and walked 3 and were hit by a pitch twice. So they gave you 5 bases and you struck out 4 times. So I'll take that ratio. Mike Minette, my new quote is "Can't sweep if you don't win the first one." Maneri always said that, man. That was definitely a Maneri line. Can't sweep if you don't win the first one. So, Damon Gilmore, Fonzarelli, Irfan Sayed letting Dolander off the hook early had me worried. These Tigers are freaking good. Yes, they are. It was the inverse of what happened last week. You had a great outing by Skenes. You had some opportunities to push runs across early in game 1 against Arkansas. You couldn't come through, and ultimately you ended up losing that game in extras. But tonight you broke through in the 8th, so awesome to see it. Hunter Fournette, to put it in perspective, you won the game tonight, burned their best arm out of the pen, all while not getting production offensively from Cruz and Tanks. That's huge. That is true, because last year if you didn't get production from Trey Morgan and Dylan Cruz, and I guess in Joe Bear, you just weren't getting production. So, yes, I agree with you. Gulf South, would you pitch your starters backwards in a 3-game series against LSU? Gulf South, I think there might be some teams that choose to do that if they, especially if they have a TBD type situation. On Sunday, they may flip and save an ace, a number one, uh, for game two. Look, there were teams that did that against Nola back in 2014. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think we could see it. It depends. It's going to depend team to team. If you like, if you have Chase Dolander, you're throwing him on Friday. You know what I mean? So, or game one, I mean. So, uh, but I think so. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it somewhere down the line. I can't tell you I know every SEC team's rotation to know who might be a candidate to do that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Stephen Jacobs, what's going on? Bailey C, what's up? Matt Newton following baseball. What happened to the last coach? Was he underperforming? I guess talking about Paul Maneri. Paul Maneri retired. I mean, he was Hall of Fame coach. Um, you know, won a national title, made it to Omaha in, let's see, 8, 9, 13, 15. So made it to Omaha 5 times. Won it once. Made it to the championship series another time. Freaking phenomenal coach, man. All-time great coach. Just, retired. So I think it was time. And Jay's doing great. Let's see. Strong side, James Brew. What's up, Jeff G? Oh, man. Do you think we continue to see Neal getting the start, even though Milazzo is better defensively, hitting for a better average? Jeff, if there were a game where they might have done that, I thought tonight might have been it. I'll tell you, sometimes I might defer to the starting pitcher, especially like Paul Skenes. If Skenes requests one of those guys, feels better with one of those guys behind the dish, then roll with it. You see that often, where sometimes an ace will have his own catcher. You see that in the bigs a lot. So. Jackson Bordelon, do you think they stick with Little as the midweek guy? No, I don't, Jackson. I think that was intentional this week to get him in a situation where he could throw in a controlled situation. Here's what I mean. When you start the game, you're pitching out of the windup. There's nobody on base. When Christian Little comes into the game, like last week in a save situation, he comes in the ninth with runners on base, and he's pitching out of the stretch. You already elevate the intensity and the leverage of the spot. So I think throwing Little in the midweek was really just an opportunity to get him the ball in his hand in a controlled setting, and he pitched really well. So, but no, I don't think he's going to be the midweek guy. I think he's going to be a back of the bullpen guy. Guy Brooks, that was a great game. I want more of it. Good news, you're going to get 2 more games, one tomorrow and one Saturday. Hunter Rascal, happy to be watching Matt again after a win. One of my favorite times of the year. College baseball in full swing. Brett DeGrow, 98 was the best team to never win a title. I disagree with you, Brett. 98 was the closest, because they started 2-0 in Omaha, and USC came back and beat them twice. But that was not the best team. 13 and 15 were both better teams than 98. Let's see. Brad Giat, what's going on? As a program director, do you have the power to end MLB and NBA blackouts? I do not. Joel Cunningham, strong side, thanks for helping out with Clegg's Nursery. All right, thanks for visiting, Clegg's. Appreciate you. Tom Granite, Colton Mack, Reed Rulescone, that was awesome. Can't wait to be in person tomorrow night. Does Beloso sit tomorrow? If they sit Beloso, and Beloso DH'd, if they sit Beloso, I would have Joe Bear in the lineup, because listen, you're going to see 2 more righties from Tennessee, so I want lefties in the lineup. They let Jared Jones play first tonight, and you could theoretically put Morgan back at first, and you could put Joe Bear in left and Pearson in right, and DH Beloso, or DH Jones, if you want the lefty or the righty. But if you want the lefty, you could do it. I don't know what they're going to do with Beloso, but Kate had a little bit of a rough night tonight, but it's baseball. You're gonna have rough nights. I think he's warranted the ABs, and I want a left-handed heavy lineup tonight or this weekend. Matt, how's the bullpen look the rest of the weekend? Really good. I mean, you've got everybody available. The only person that's burned is Paul Skenes. So if you need lefties, you've got Riley Cooper, Griffin Herring. I don't think Ackenhausen's going to pitch again. He certainly didn't look right. They pulled him mid-count tonight. And then you have everybody else available that you need. You got Christian Little. You got Blake Money. You could bring Edwards back. He only threw 24. Edwards threw 24 pitches tonight. Of course, you can go to Chase Shores, which, I like the idea of if Ty Floyd leaves the game tomorrow with a lead, I like the idea of going to Chase Shores to see if he can get you home, and win the series. So you got everybody at your disposal. Let's see. Michael Terry, you drinking that Parker's with no ice? Yeah, man, neat. I drink whiskey neat. Just pour it in a glass. I guess I gotta pour it in a Glencairn. They're over there. Joey Metke, let's see. Matt, is there any way to watch the LSU baseball games online? I listened to it on YouTube, wondering if LSU had something online to watch. Joey, you can stream all the games on SEC Network Plus. So if you have any streaming service login where you can get ESPN, you can get the games streaming there on ESPN. So all right, couple more. By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the Best of 225 link in the comments. Your boy was nominated for Best 225, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge was nominated for Best Radio Station. So if you could take a quick second and click that link and vote, would really appreciate it. Voting ends, I think, on the 3rd, which I believe is Monday. So would appreciate it. All right, let's see a couple more. Trivia, I really appreciate this. You got it, bro. Brad Giat, where can they put the bullpens? All right, so that's a really good question, Brad. I know, and it came up again tonight because Trey Morgan, who, by the way, is a great left fielder. Trying to tell you all the kids playing in the outfield. No, none of y'all wanted to freaking hear that because he's so good at first base. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You don't put there's no such thing as an athletic first baseman at the next level. They put big, fat dudes who just stand on the base, catch the ball, and slug homers. That's who plays first base at the next level. Anyway, Sonny DeShera is a first baseman at the next level. Morgan made the great play in left field where he went onto the mound and kind of, ass up against the guy in the bullpen. Anyway, yes, it's dangerous. They need to move it. I don't know where they can move it. They've talked about it a bunch. They've talked about putting a berm out in the outfield, like in that center field space. If you do that, then you could put the bullpens there. You can't really do it without affecting your current bleacher configuration, but they're going to have to do it. I mean, it's dangerous and it needs to change. What do you think about the South Carolina series looking forward? Yeah, man, South Carolina is definitely the surprise team of the SEC this year. They swept their first 2 series, and I didn't see a final, but I'm going to go and assume that they beat Mississippi State tonight because Mississippi State is poo-poo. And y'all, I'm going to be very honest. It's going to be so interesting. It's going to be so interesting to see. Yeah, so it's South Carolina beat State 6-4. So South Carolina 7-0. It's going to be so interesting to see what Mississippi State does because they won the national championship 2 years ago. Last year they were the worst team in the SEC, and then they are awful this year. So I don't know what they do. Can you really keep Chris Lemonis? I mean, they're terrible. So I don't know. Let's see. Fonz, just realized I have to choose what to watch tomorrow at work. Baseball, I'll score on my watch, basketball on the phone. Yeah, you got the LSU women's basketball team playing in the Final Four tomorrow, and you got baseball against Tennessee. For me, it's easy. I'm watching baseball against Tennessee. No disrespect to the ladies; they've had a great season. I get it that it's the Final Four, but this baseball series, you just had 13,000 people on a Thursday night at a baseball game. I mean, this baseball series is massive. It warrants all the conversation. I hope the ladies win and they get to Sunday where they'll likely get a rematch with South Carolina, and would love to see it go the good guys' way. Golf South TV guys talked about the amount of time Skenes throws 100. Only 3 MLB guys averaged more last season. So he also said Skenes averaging 93 last year. Is that big of a miles per hour jump concern long term? So no, Gulf South, and I'll tell you this, and I did have this conversation with a really good friend who is a 30-year MLB scout. And I asked him a question point blank. I'm like, how did Skenes go from like really good pitcher a year ago to, I mean, literally the best arm in college baseball and one of the best we've ever seen, like where people are comparing him to Strasburg and Mark Pryor. And this person told me, he said several things. Number one, when you're at Air Force, you have military obligations. So it's not baseball all the time. I mean, think about that. Like, he was at a military academy. It's not all about baseball. So baseball was ancillary. At LSU, it's all baseball. I was talking to Gavin Dugas in studio. I'm sorry, Gavin Guidry in studio a couple weeks ago. And he was like, dude, Paul gets to the field at like 10 o'clock every day. And even if it's not a heavy work day for him, even if he's only like throwing the ball 30 times, a light toss day, like he's there all day doing all of his recovery, all of his prehab, all of his stretching. Like, he is just maniacal in the way in which he takes care of his body. So that's one, is not having the military obligations. Number two, not hitting. Obviously, hitting when you are taking not only the effort, but the time it takes to be a really good hitter. That's time you're not spending on pitching. So military obligations, focusing solely on pitching. I said the technology, like the pitching lab at LSU. You heard Paul Skenes in the postgame if you listen to it. He talked about like the efficiency with which he throws and all that's like, that's pitching lab, right? I mean, they're looking at his mechanics and everything like that. And then four, maybe most importantly, is Wes Johnson. I mean, you've got a major league pitching coach working with him right now. So a lot of those things have factored in to take him from elite pitcher to one of the best we've ever seen. He's a rare combination of ability, work ethic, all that sort of stuff. So mindset, it's fun. It was funny, that same scout told me the last year in the major leagues, the average fastball in the major leagues last year was 93 miles an hour, like 93.4 miles an hour. Said Paul Skenes, and this was before last week when he sent me this, said Paul Skenes' average fastball this year was 98.1 miles an hour. Randall, Matthews postgame streams are awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You know what you can do? Since it's 10:46 at night and I'm jumping on and loving to doing this with y'all, you can smash that like button. 217 watching. We got 110 likes. Thank you so much for those of you who have hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, would love it if you just take a quick second, smash that like button. And I'll just remind you, man, Hudco, Hudco Roofing, would love it if you need a roof repair, roof replacement, commercial, residential, small repair, large replacement. We'd love the opportunity to give you a free, no obligation inspection, or maybe you're a property manager for for commercial buildings. We do all types of roofing, man, anything from TPO and slate and tile, everything. So, Merrick, any update on the changes to the box? Not that I'm aware of. William Waldrop, thanks for the postgame, Matt. Sipping on a little Widow Jane tonight. All right, enjoying the win. TK won't win at Omaha if Thompson's glove doesn't improve. Oh, God. Okay, hashtag troll. Okay, got it. Thank you, TK. Thank you. Cody Brunet, Garrett Edwards locked down the closer. I don't think so, Cody. I think he's the stopper. I think he's the guy that, look where he came in. He came in when Ackenhausen allowed a couple of guys on base and came in that tough situation. It's a big difference. Like, if it were 4-2 in the ninth, I don't think Edwards is coming in the game. I think he's your stopper, not your closer. Let's see. I believe that's only Thompson's second error of the season. Yes. Reed rule, only downside of Skenes being this good is he's stuck to the trash Pirates at number one. The Pirates, I'm told, favor Cruz, and the Nationals are hoping. I'm told the Nationals are hoping that Cruz goes one because they want Skenes. They feel like they can get a front of the rotation guy for 6 years through arbitration and everything before they'd have to pay him or trade him for assets, things like that. Matt, what do you think about Vitello letting his players argue balls and strikes with the umps? Randall, it's just the vibe of that program. The team takes on the characteristic of the coach. Vitello's already been thrown out of 2 games this year. I heard Hannegriff say this earlier, so I had to Hanny. Vitello's been thrown out twice this year. Skip Bertman was thrown out twice in 17 seasons as the LSU coach. I mean, it just doesn't surprise me. Golf South, for the record, I agreed with you on Morgan being good in the outfield. Let's see. Wonder if Skenes is taking online classes like Burrow did his last year. Burrow did. He is, by the way. Burrow did it. Mettenberger did it. And look, the thing is, if you're set to graduate, you can be considered full time without a full course load. So you don't have to have 15 hours. In theory, you could have one. If you're 3 credit hours away from graduation, you could take 3 credit. It should be like an online 3 credit course. That's what Mettenberger did. Boo Daddy 1092. I thought it was interesting when Vitello pulled Dolander before he faced Tommy White after he hit him again the previous AB. Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with him hitting him. I think, look, White had already faced him twice. He hit him hard the first time, then he fouled out or popped out, and he got hit on the hand. So I think it was like, do you really want to let that guy see him for the 4th time? And clearly the answer was no. I thought Tommy White was going to charge them out after getting hit. I think, look, and it was an 0-2 pitch. It was either 0-2 or 1-2. So, I mean, Dolander wasn't throwing at him on purpose. I mean, he had Tommy with 2 guys on. Or no, there's nobody on. It was the first batter of the inning. And you've got Tommy White up with 2 strikes, and you go high and tight, you hit him on the hand. He wasn't trying to hit him. I mean, he wasn't trying to let Tommy White go with when he had him on a 2-strike count. So he wasn't throwing at him. It was just he let one get away. It sucked. I'm glad he wasn't hurt. Shelby, I know Burns is good. I feel like the bats come alive tomorrow. I mean, there is a matter of like a law of averages, right, where eventually this offense breaks through. And boy, they had a lot of opportunities against Dolander tonight, man. 3 of the first 4 innings, got the leadoff man on. You led off with a double in the first. I mean, shoot, you had your opportunities. Jared Jones made a great play tagging the guy at first, backhanded. He did. Great throw by Brady Neal as well to backpick him, and for Jones to go back instead of forward, quicker path, got the tag. Great play. Dustin B, yo Matt, who starts Sunday, Hurd or someone else? It's already been announced. Thatcher Hurd starting on Sunday, and he should. As long as you're winning, you don't change that for the sake of changing it, because Thatcher Hurd has the ability. I mean, he's a 1st round talent. He just has to throw strikes. I mean, what got Hurd last week is he walked 5 guys in 2 innings. You just got to if Hurd just throws the ball over the plate, his stuff is good enough to where, like, think about what happened with Dolander tonight. His stuff, like, he wasn't sharp, but his stuff is still good enough to where you put it over the plate, they're going to mishit it, they're going to hit it at your defenders. Like sometimes you're more efficient letting them hit it instead of working a 7-pitch strikeout. Get a lazy fly on 2 pitches. I mean, that's what. Golly, it was in the 7th inning. Halverson had an 8-pitch inning in the 7th because he just let him hit it, and he induced weak contact. These fools hating on Thompson are the same people who asked for ketchup at Ruth's Chris or Sullivan's with their well-done steak. It's just disrespectful. I love it. Do you think they stick with the starting lineup today? I don't. Jay he is just shaking up the lineup a lot this year, and I think he will. And I would like to see Joe Bear in the lineup tomorrow. I would like to see another lefty with some power against the righty. What was the final number of stranded runners? Let me see if they've sent us the box score yet. Let's see if Bill sent us the box score. I'll tell you. Here it is. All right, left on base. Left on base, left on base, left on base. Here you go. LSU left 7 on base. Tennessee left 7 on base. So both teams had their opportunities, man. It was just Jordan Thompson came up with the clutch hit. Jordan Thompson and Gavin Dugas each came up with the clutch hit. I love Neil's aggressiveness behind the plate. So many ways to control the game. Neil has the right mentality. I agree. He's been great. He's been great. One more, feel obligated to talk about how KP, Ben, and Neil are at their jobs, how good they are at their jobs. It's so enjoyable. Yes, that's a great team. That's a great broadcast booth. Guys that know college baseball are great at college baseball, love the game, are great calling the game. Completely agree. Chance, the LSU bullpens are ridiculous. Trey ended up sitting on the Tennessee player at the fence making that catch. Reed Rule, I know he's a left-hander. Kling is looking good. He's due for a big-time showing. Look, Kling, like they went to College Station. He led off, and he was, 1 of 15 with 9 strikeouts. I mean, he had his big chance in the opening weekend of conference play. It just felt like the moment was a little too big for him, and I love Gavin Dugas leading off, so I want Dugas leading off. I'm okay if you want to put Kling back in there. And yes, he's a righty, but I would kind of prefer to see this weekend Pearson and Joe Bear in the outfield, Morgan at first, Beloso DH. I would love to. You're facing a bunch of righties. Load up. And if Tennessee goes to a lefty and you want to get a right-handed bat in there, you can go to Kling, you can go to Jones. You got options. But against the starters, I want lefties who are swinging a hot bat, who can change the scoreboard with one swing. So I think it doesn't seem like Jared Jones is coming out of the lineup, which is okay. You want him in the lineup, cool. But I would like to see the lefties, stack lefties. Scary how good this team would be next year, too. I agree. I mean, just think about all the young players that are playing. It's incredible. Raymond, good evening. Do you save Shores for Saturday in case Hurt struggles? Well, Raymond, I think it depends what happens tomorrow. Like, if it's, let's say Floyd gives you 7 innings and you're up 4-2. I'm giving the ball to Chase Shores. I'm saying, go give me 6 outs and win this series. You know, if tomorrow gets away from you, or gets away, you blow them out, well, then you don't need to go spend Chase Shores. And then Hurd can have a short leash on Sunday. So it really depends how the game goes tomorrow. Let's see, last one, Fonz. Would that count as interference? Would what count as interference? Sorry. You're talking about the play with Morgan? No, I mean, the guys in the bullpen aren't obligated to move. So, no, it was not. Now, if, one of them had jumped up and, hit him or something, or hit the ball intentionally, then yes. Okay, I think we're done. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate y'all. Do me a favor on the way out. Smash that like button. If you're new, please subscribe up to the channel. We do morning scone every day. I'll try to hit these post-game recaps when y'all want them and when it's warranted, when I can swing it. So anyway, y'all have an awesome night, man. Thank y'all so much for watching. Go Tigers. Great win for LSU. Let's go get this series tomorrow. We'll see you. Peace.